performance there. She had the cover when she needed it and got the run just in time. 9-1-4, race number 3. Next on the card, the Boss Hot Dogs Plate. Take out 7, 8 and 14, so 11 to run in the 4th race at 2:20.
Righto, Greg. Yes, you could see that gap widening, and the minute it presented itself, she had them covered, River Dove. She came through very quickly. As ahead of Star Satire, Honour Bound, Perceptible and Soap Opera, and they're right on start time. Where the hell are they here? Look at this. The backdrop is hardly state-of-the-art in New Zealand. We've got time to go to Rosehill Gardens and get Wayne Harris's last-minute thoughts on race 3.
Yeah, Jude's a good race here, Johnny. Some terrific 3-year-olds going around this. I thought number 10 Into the Night was the way to go here. He's a very, very promising horse up from Canberra, from the Keith Dryden stable. He's won 4 of his 6 starts. His horse that can get a little bit hyper here. He hasn't paraded too badly. Darren Beeman's been on him his last 2 wins down around the Canberra area. Got a good feel of the horse now. From barrier 3, he's going to be in the firing line. I think he's a horse going somewhere, this bloke. As is number 3, Bosworth. His horse has been well supported here on course. If there's going to be a blowout to Into the Night, could be Bosworth. Bit of an awkward draw here, but he's a horse that's only ever had the 3 career runs, 2 wins in those 3 runs, so he's a horse with a lot of promise. As I say, we'll need a little bit of luck, but there's a bit of confidence on course. Number 2, Magic Hatter, and he's 1 run back from a spell, was a very good second behind Red Hannigan at Canterbury at the night meeting. He meets Red Hannigan a lot better at the weights here today, but he's another one with an awkward draw. Now, I can tell you there's been good money on course for number 8, which is the Big Chill, a filly that's up from Melbourne. She's had 2 runs here in Sydney, and they've both been at Warwick Farm. I know she's based out there at the moment while she's up here. She's trained by Russell Cameron. I just don't think Warwick Farm probably suited her. Maybe the big stretches here at Rosehill will suit her here today, and she has been well supported on course. So we'll go with numbers 10, 3, 2 and 8. I do think this Country Train Galloper Into the Night could be a horse going somewhere. And John, going back to you, you might join with me, and we've got to send a cheerio to Roy Greenwood, who was the rider of Birthday Card, winner of the Slipper quite a few years back. Isn't in the best of health at the moment. I know he's watching us at Sky, so good luck to you, Roy.
Oh, thanks, Wayne. I'm sorry to hear that, Roy. Wayne said quite a few years ago, Roy, I hate to remind you, son, it was 40 years ago when you won the Golden Slipper on that lovely little filly Birthday Card. So to Roy Greenwood, who shares the honour with many other jockeys of riding the winner of this great 2-year-old event, we extend our best wishes for a speedy recovery. He's on the sick list. Well, now...
of Gordon's. Well, Evans is the next one up, and that'll leave Derzetta to complete the line. New Zealand Bloodstock Breeders' Stakes, weight for age, fillies and mares, inaugural running at $120,000. And here is Darren Teichmann.
They're ready. 1,600 metres the journey. They're off. Away they go in the Breeders' Stakes, and Sequel, one of the best to begin with St. Cecile and Spring Rainers hunting right up on the inside. Star Satire, the next one. They've been followed then by St. Therese and Elevenses, followed by Grovana, the outsider. Then Honour Bound, followed by Butterscotch, who's just back in behind those runners. 2 lengths away then was Regency, followed by Derzetta. Then came on the inside there is Hello Dolly as they go past the 1,200 metre mark. 2 lengths away then was Tantamount, followed by Gordon's on the outside. Perceptible's back last of all, and Soap Opera the inside of that runner as they stride past the 1,000 metre mark now. And last year's winner St. Cecile trying to make it back to back. This is how she did it last year. She bowled along in the lead then, and she's doing exactly the same now. 2 lengths to Sequel, then came behind them on the inside Spring Rain. 2.5 lengths to St. Therese, then Grovana the outside, followed by Star Satire. The next one then is at Evans is starting to roll forward, followed by Butterscotch, Honour Bound, Hello Dolly, then Regency, followed by Derzetta. Gordon's a long way from them. Then Perceptible, followed by Tantamount, and Soap Opera would be 25 lengths off St. Cecile. Homeward Bound in the Breeders, and the leader St. Cecile is flying out in front from Sequel, and then Spring Rain. St. Therese back on the inside. Down the outside, Star Satire getting the late run. Eleven's is right on the outside, storming into it. So's Honour Bound. St. Cecile the leader, right down the outside. Honour Bound might be too late though. Eleven's is St. Therese the inside, but it's St. Cecile in front. What an effort! Back-to-back Breeders win. St. Cecile from either St. Therese or an Evans Is on a bound over on the outside. Perceptible ran a huge race with Star Setter. Then Spring Rain followed by Regency. Hello Dolly Grovana. Then Butterscotch over on the inside with Derzetta. Sequel Weekend and Gordon Soap Opera and Tantamount. Last of all, she is a special mare.
Yes, it was a good run. She pays 33.40 and 6.40. Saint Cecile, photo second and third. That was a Group 1 race, by the way, for fillies and mares, the Breeders' Stakes, and we'll confirm the result shortly. Now, Magic Hatter has plenty of admirers in the race coming up at Rosehill Gardens. Here is his trainer, Gavin Andrews, with Joe McKinnon.
Gavin, Magic Hatter's first up run was very nice today. Second up, he's probably able to turn the tables here.
We're hoping so. His first up run, he just had the edge off him a little bit from the 2 trials, and other horse had a little bit too much early toe for him, put him off the bit a long way out, but today the extra distance will suit him a little bit better.
You're meeting Red Hannigan better at the weights too.
Yeah, and we need to. He sort of finished over the top of us a little bit last start, so hopefully that's enough to turn the tables.
What about the Awkward Alley, barrier 11?
Well, we're going to push forward, and a few of the speed horses look like they've generally taken a sit before, so hopefully we can get across with no dramas.
A winning chance?
I think so, yeah.
Good luck, Gavin.
Thank you.
Okay. Gavin Andrews, quietly confident that Magic Hatter can turn the tables on Red Hannigan in the next here at Rosehill Gardens.
OK, Joe, thanks. Just looking at the fancied ones for the Rosehill race. $8 Red Hannigan, $4.70 Bosworth, $8.30 for number 8, the Big Chill. Checking over the page to Into the Night, $3.70. A horse with tons of potential, and from a good barrier today and handily weighted, he gets his chance to prove that potential. Cheltenham Race 3, Easy Landing is the top rater ahead of Star Joe, Flurry's Gem and Apt to Go. New Zealand Race 11, the full placings at 2.17.15. Saint Cecile 33.40, 6.40. 11s is 4.10. Saint Therese at 5.60. Now back to the Cheltenham market. Easy Landing 4.60, Star Joe 3.90, Flurry's Gem 3.90 and Apt to Go 5.10. Dimness 8.60, Glitzy Guru 26, Paisano 78, Maron Cheval $12. OK, they're getting into the gates at Rosehill Gardens, and Ian Craig is getting ready with his call as Into the Night now firms to outright favouritism at 3.60.
Right, well, we're all aboard now for the third, the Highland Sportswear Stakes. Registered name of the race, the Derby Munro Stakes, and Into the Night, number 10, has been very heavily labelled on track. And there's been late support for Bosworth. He was somewhat of a drifter early mid-stages, but late backing has brought him into about a point away from Into the Night. But the Canberra horse has been very, very well tried Into the Night. Bosworth best backed against him. So on the tote, 370, 170, number 10 in New South Wales. Into the Night now 360. And Bosworth, number 3, 480, 230. Previous, and Planchet, number 2, scored by a whisker from one Choiseur, who... or Choisia, who hung badly in the straight. Len Beasley said he was a little stirred up on the way to the barrier. He really wanted to pull, and he went at the front, and maybe whether the horse is a wee bit fresh, well, who knows. Anyway, it was a worrying sign for Connections that he hung as badly as he did over the last 200. He threw it away, as I say, he only went under by about a 1/16 of an inch. So Planchet, backing up from the Black Opal win, took it out from Choisir, and third was the Innisfail Gelding. Terrific run. Strictly Smart, number 3, Emerging Star, fourth. And Victory Vane, number 1, took the first. Dan Beasley from 2, Callaway Gal, 10, Stratica and 6, Cirque du Soleil. Academe refusing to go in, and the rider has dismounted Glen Boss. Gee, there are some promising horses in this. Red Hannigan, Magic Hatter, only an eyelash between them at Canterbury, and the Eskimo Prince. Bosworth, Jai's jumped now that he's broken through. At Canterbury, he won then at Newcastle. The Big Chill, Academe, Into the Night, On a High, the Tamworth Gelding. Apo Quality's been racing well. This is a good race, and we'll shortly know the outcome as we're just awaiting Dolce Veloci to move in. And the clerk of the course has been dislodged from his pony. The pony took fright at Dolce Veloci, and no harm done. Oh, was that Michael? Yeah, it might have been. Mick was just saying the clerk of the course's pony might have been kicked. I wasn't actually looking squarely at the clerk of the course at the time, but just caught out of the left side, the clerk landing on the grass. Dolce Veloci still refusing to go forward into the night. 350 in New South Wales, 460 Bosworth. Perfectly drawn into the night on his last two, and Bosworth will need a little bit of luck. Gee, looked good at his first run back from a spell, and only run back since the 22nd of September when he won at Warwick Farm, beating Arlington Road, who of course led all the way to win here from Ugachaka last week. So still, Dolce Veloci is bailing up and proving a real handful for the barrier attendants. They lead her down the track. They swing her back in the clockwise direction, but she now swings around to an anti-clockwise direction, and really she is a handful. All other 14 runners have been behaving themselves perfectly on a high drawn on the inside. Into the night, trained by Keith Dryden. Keith's on the committee of the ACT Racing Club, and if Into the Night races as well as Connections think he will here, he'll press on for a big race at Randwick on Doncaster Derby Day. And if he doesn't perform up to expectations this afternoon, he'll go straight to the Spelling paddocks. Now, yet another attempt made to get this filly into the gates. But no, she's beaten them again. Now she's there. And all is in readiness for a start, the third of the day. 1300 here at Rosehill Gardens, the Highland Sportswear Stakes. Great sponsors for racing, and particularly in Melbourne. As the rider of Dolce Veloci, Len Beasley, is about to climb back into the saddle. Starter's down at the foot of his dispatch points. He's about to climb the ladder, just pointing out something to one of his attendants. Now he climbs the aluminium ladder, has the button. They'll soon go. Racing this time, the Big Chill missed it, and Magic Hatter and On a High was slow. And Illuminar is the early leader from Fleecing. A length away, third is Participate. Dolce Veloci improving, followed by Brits Best, and then comes the Canberra horse and favourite Into the Night, followed wider out on the track, Jai's Jump. Bosworth going with Jai's Jump, then Red Hannigan, Apo Quality, Academe, Magic Hatter, the Big Chill, On a High, and Treasure Time is at the tail. Down the side they come, approaching the 800 marker, and here's a battle for the lead with Dolce Veloci just getting it now from Illuminaire over on the inside. Fleecing between them, followed a length and a half further away, Jai's Jump, Brits Best, Into the Night and Participate. One to Bosworth wide, then Red Hannigan, Academe circling the field. Apo Quality is entrenched, then the Big Chill, followed by Magic Hatter with two behind him. They are Treasure Time and On a High. Around the corner they travel, and Illuminar is the leader, about a half to three quarters on Fleecing. Third is Dolce Veloci, followed by Jai's Jump. Deeper out on the track is Academe, and then Participated. Into the Night is getting a saloon run through, followed by Brits Best, and then Bosworth. They race to the 100. Dolce Veloci grabbed by Jai's Jump. The Big Chill is rocketing home. Jai's Jump the leader. The Big Chill trying hard with Brits Best, but Jai's Jump gets there. The hat trick. Jai's Jump from a photo. Brits Best, and wide out the Big Chill, followed by Bosworth and company with Red Hannigan, Dolce Veloci, Treasure Time. Into the Night, Academe, Illuminar, Participate, On a High. Magic Hatter, Apo Quality and Fleecing, they're enough to last. Well, isn't he flying? Number 5, Jai's Jump, has now made it the hat trick following wins at Canterbury when he broke through at his 8th start. And then he went to Newcastle on Newmarket Day, and he proved too good there. Brian York's only ride of the day, and here this afternoon he started from the extreme outside alley, gate number 15, and has staved them off. 5, Jai's Jump on the toe to New South Wales. Expect around $26. And the outside horse, the Big Chill, is prominent for second, number 8. And has run second, and number 15 is third, and that is Brits Best. It's 5, 8, 15, and number 3 was 4th, and that was Bosworth. The winner by Rory's Jester from Soda Watch, trained by Billy Mitchell, ridden by Brian York.
5, 8 and 15, and Brian York at his best on Jai's Jump. 26.60 and 7.10, 270, 5.10. Quinella 118.90, Exacta 234, Trifecta 4,979. Let's have a look at Cheltenham. And race... Right, here we come, race 4, and they're about to be called up into line. Kostazov is favourite, 340, ahead of Mr. Obliging, Dane Force, and our arch rival, with Lincoln Coffey giving our arch rival a pretty good rap in his interview with Alf earlier. Let's head to Flemington. Here is Greg Miles.
And they're moving in now. Atomic Man is the first to move in over at the gates at the 1400. Here's Pleasant Mick following it up into the line now. Kostazov is the favourite. He ran a very good first up race at Sandown behind Mrs. Tendulkar. It's one of the few on paces in the race to hold on. Dane Force moved in. Indigo Rain is set in the yellow colours. Now moving up into the line next is the Fats. Here's the favourite going in, Kostazov. Only 4 to come along then. O Temptation, who was a big run at Wagga last start. Our arch rival's about to move in. Mr. Obliging and Kiribati to get set. It's been a little easy on track, Kostazov, but they really haven't backed anything else in the race. Our arch rival's been steady right through betting. Dane Force. Mr. Obliging's also been right up there through the betting, and he's actually going to run the favourite on track as Kostazov has got out, I note. Now they're set. Lights flash at the 1400 metres. About to break. Off they go now. And the starter caught them well with Dane Force breaking the line comfortably and finding it in front of Kiribati, Liberty Hall. Mr. Obliging right on the pace today. He's up in third placing. Pushing up along the inside then came Atomic Man. A couple of lengths off them is Kostazov, and he's being trailed then by O Temptation. One to the Fats, followed by Indigo Rain, who's got a long way back on the inside, and they're trailed by our arch rivals, who's racing on the outside of Pleasant Mick. 900 left to go. Dane Force a half, Kiribati, and 2 lengths to Mr. Obliging third. Atomic Man fourth, Liberty Hall is outside, and Kostazov goes through along the inside at the 800. 3 lengths away to O Temptation, Indigo Rain, 1.5 to the Fats, and then trailed Pleasant Mick, and last is our arch rival. Coming around the turn at the 600, Dane Force joined by Kiribati. Mr. Obliging 2 lengths away third, then Liberty Hall. Kostazov on the inside, and then Atomic Man being trailed by Indigo Rain, who's pulled out wide. Pleasant Mick making some ground on the inside from O Temptation, the Fats, and our arch rival. Dane Force again kicking back with Kiribati, and they lead Mr. Obliging and Kostazov, who's about to come out after them. Then Indigo Rain and Liberty Hall. 200 left to go. Kiribati narrowly. Mr. Obliging after him, and then Kostazov. Indigo Rain's running on, and O Temptation coming home. Mr. Obliging with Kostazov switching to the inside, and O Temptation flashing home. O Temptation grabs them. O Temptation wins it a neck to Mr. Obliging and Kostazov. Just behind them, Indigo Rain, Kiribati, closely followed by our arch rival, and then Pleasant Mick, Atomic Man, trailed by the Fats, and further back in the field then is Liberty Hall towards the tail end of the field there in company with Dane Force. O Temptation has got the money, number 11, ridden by Brendan Fennick, to pay 18.10 and 4.10. It's been a long while, just short of 2 years since he's won a race, but he's charged home to win today. Second going to number 1, Mr. Obliging, Mark Zara. And third, number 2, Kostazov, ridden by Dan Nikolic, numbers 11, 1 and 2. This horse was something beaten at Wagga last time out, and trainer Brett Kavanagh wasted no time in switching him straight down here, and he settled a fair way back, but he can produce a finish, as we've just witnessed there. He did the same thing at Wagga and missed by a breath in getting up behind Blue Danzig, who's a city performed horse down here, and that has been a sizzling finishing run down the outside. Just as Mr. Obliging looked home and hosed after sitting up on the pace and having a good run. He's 59.5, perhaps started to tell a bit. Brendan Fennick had taken that claim on O Temptation. He came in with only 52.5, and he just swallowed them up with a fast burst on the outside. Fourth place in the race went to number 9, Indigo Range, so it's 11, 1, 2 and 9, and 15 going to number 10, Kiribati, who held on okay, 123.5. Now the dividend starting to come through. O Temptation paid 18.10 and 4.10. Mr. Obliging 170 and cost us off 170. 18.10, 4.10 the winner. 170 second, 170 third. Quinella paid 41.60. The exacta $108.40. Trifecta 323.90, and the running double 9 and 11 139 even. Okay, that paves the way then for the major race today. The Group 1 VRC Sires Produce Stakes. Blinkers again for number 5, Tom Carews. Race 5 at 3 o'clock.
Righto, Greg, by crikey, that finished quickly. O Temptation, 18.10 and 4.10. Mr. Obliging 170, cost us off 170. Quinella 41.60, exacta 108.40, trifecta 323. The next at Flemington is the one we've been waiting for, the Group 1 VRC Sires Produce Stakes. As we watch O Temptation again, and young Brendan Fennick now coming back to scale. All right, Eagle.
Thank you, John. And certainly Jack Denham has a strong hand, doesn't he, with number 3, Gillespie, very heavily backed. And late, the best back to beat it on track has been, at longer odds, number 2, Asia. So Gillespie into Asia, interesting runners. On the tote, number 3, Gillespie, is 390 and 180. And the second pick, 4, Carb Gun, looking at 6 straight, 530, 250. Yes, they're coming into line nicely for the Cabra Vale Diggers Club Manion Cup. Damien Oliver riding Asia, and Damien rode the last 2 winners of this race, Tiger's Eye 12 months ago, and prior to that, Pravda. Previous going to Jai's Jump, number 5 from the outside alley, beat 8, The Big Chill. They certainly had excuses. 15, Brit's Best third. Now, here at the 2400, we've got Home Wrecker to come in with Asia and also Carla Lisha. Beautiful day in Sydney, quite warm, probably in the high 20s, I'd say. In goes Asia, and the Victorian Home Wrecker coming up now. So we're just about set for a start. Gillespie, very well tried here, 390, 180. Money for the stablemate Asia. Damien Oliver on Asia. As I was saying to our other audience just a short time ago, the last 2 winners of this to Damien. The Manion Cup 12 months ago. Tiger's Eye, Pravda before that. Now they're ready. And the gates are back and they're off and running, and Manor Hill got the best of the start. Plea jumped nicely. So too did Time Off, followed by Royal Treen, and then Repeater Asia. Nice and forward today, followed by on the outside Carb Gun, just being passed there by Bondi Iceberg from Carla Lisha. Gillespie is settling third last over on the rails. A length and a half further back is Home Wrecker, and a Nectar Conair on the inside. Out of the straight they travel, and the leader is Manor Hill by about a length and a half or so on Time Off. Plea is on the rails, third, Royal Treen deep fourth. Asia in the centre next, followed by Repeater. Carb Gunners on the outside of Bondi Iceberg. About 2 lengths to Carla Lisha. Gillespie the inside, then Home Wrecker, and Conair's last about a dozen lengths or so from Manor Hill. And Manor Hill makes the run to the 1600, and second corner leading the way by about 2 lengths or so on Time Off. Plea hugging the rails in third posse. Royal Trainers having no luck. It's out 3 wide. Asia's in the middle. Repeater back on the rails. Midfield is Carb Gun shooting for its 6th consecutive win. Then Bondi Iceberg, followed by Carla Lisha. Gillespie. Next to last is Home Wrecker, and last is Conair. Down the back of the track they travel, and racing along towards the halfway at the 1200, and Manor Hill left alone in the lead. 2 Time Off, third. Plea Royal Train, a tough run fourth. Asia is next, given every hope by Damien Oliver, followed by Repeater. A length and a half to Carb Gun, then Bondi Iceberg, Carla Lisha, Gillespie, Home Wrecker, and Conair's last. Still no change in the order past the 1,000. 3000. And Manor Hill loping along by about 2.5 lengths time off and plea. Royal Train and then Asia, followed by Repeater. 2 to Carb Gun. Bondi Iceberg another length and a half away. Some 2 to the grey mare. Carla Leisha. Gillespie's on the inside. Second last in the field is Homebreaker, and still Conair whips them in on the side of the track and going down towards the 600 pole. Manor Hill a length and a half time off, followed by Plea on the rails. Royal Train very wide. Then Asia, followed by Repeater, Carb Gun, and then Bondi Iceberg. A gap then to Carla Leisha. Gillespie away from the rails from Homebreaker and Conair. Into the stretch they run past the 400, and Manor Hill making a bold bid to lead all the way. And at the 300, Manor Hill opens up 2 lengths on Plea, time off, and they're having their work cut out, catching this leader. Manor Hill getting home reasonably well. Bondi Iceberg, forget about Gillespie, but Manor Hill all the way. A great front running ride by Chrissy Munson. Manor Hill salutes from Plea. Repeater third, Bondi Iceberg fourth, and then Carp Gun, time off, Homewrecker, Gillespie, Asia, Carla Leisha, Conair, and Royal Train, who covered a heap of additional ground, was tailed right off. Well, what a win by Manor Hill. Straight to the front by Seamunts. He's a great rider, as we all know, but doesn't he excel in the lead? Number 6, Manor Hill, has paid $19.30 for the win and $5.50 the place. Number 12, Plea, $5.90, and 8, Repeater, will pay $3.20. The winner trained by Gay Waterhouse by Dane Hill from Mannerism. Well, there's breeding, hey, with a capital B. A 5-year-old bay horse, and has clocked the 2400 in 2 minutes 29.10. The race and course record held by Palos Verde is 2:26.87. The last 600 in 34.26. The numbers 6, 12, 8 and 10. Manor Hill, Seamunts first. Second goes to number 12, and that was Plea, written by Dan Beasley for Graham Rogerson. Number 8, Repeater third, Larry Cassidy for Gay Waterhouse. And number 10, officially fourth, Bondi Iceberg. What do you make of Gillespie? He only plugged the last 250 metres, and he's going to have to improve a hell of a lot to be considered a favourite for the Sydney Cup over the next week or so, eh? Anyway, Manor Hill all the way as we confirm the official totes. Number 6 at 19.30 and 5.50. Number 12, 5.90, and number 8, 3.20. The Quinella, $192. Exacta, $272.20. The Trifecta, $3,136.40. The 6, 12, 8, 10 first, fourth. The declared dividend is $30,593, of which...
Right, Ian, and a little glitch from Rosehill Gardens. Thank you. Now, we've just received the news from Rosehill Gardens that there is a fire in the generating room and a complete loss of power. Now, this fire is in the generating room, which is right at the back of the Fleming stand, well away from most public sections, but apparently it's pretty serious business, and there's been a complete loss of audio and vision, as far as we're concerned, from Rosehill Gardens Racecourse. So things are, the reports are rather sketchy and vague at the moment, but we are completely black from Rosehill Gardens, and picked a nice old day to happen, didn't it? All right, we'll try and sort this out for you, and in the meantime we go to Flemington and here's Alf Matthews.
Thanks very much, John. The Group 1 Victorian Sires Produce really is a terrific race. I've put number 1 Milkshake on top only because I believe it's had the perfect preparation. They designed their preparation to go to Adelaide. It won over there, had 2 nice runs previous to that. Looked very good in Adelaide. I think it can get a good run in this race and go on with the job. Really was strong on the line. Number 3, Delago Brom. This horse, I do genuinely believe it is the best horse in the race. However, it has had slight setbacks leading into the Diamond. Had a tough run, but a very good run in the Blue Diamond behind Bella Spray. So you've got to respect it. It's drawn nicely, should have a good run in transit. Number 6, Al Webster. I like the way it finished its race off at Caulfield. Really